Hello and welcome to the morning sports briefing here on Saturday, the 10th of October. And in the news today, we have updates on how our Kiwi golfers are going over in the Europe and the USA. We'll have updates from Roland Garros for the French Open as it is men's semi-final day. We'll bring you up to speed with how the fastest stage on the Giro d'Italia ever has gone. We'll talk about other fast people with the Formula One. Also, the NBA could be decided today, and obviously there's lots and lots of rugby news as well as bringing you up to speed with the NRL action. This is your best way to start the day, up to speed with all the important sports news. And hi, I'm Paul. I'll be your host this morning. And let's tee off with the golf. And over in the women's PGA Championship, Lydia Ko is going well. She has finished her second round shooting par on that one to leave her at 2 under for the round. That is just one shot behind the leaders, who are some of whom are still out on the course. She is in tied fourth place currently. So a really good start. Well, it's a start after 2 rounds for Lydia Ko. But yes, going well there in the Women's PGA Championship. Over in the European Tour at the BMW PGA Championship, and Ryan Fox shot 2 under par for his second round to leave him at 6 under par overall. He's 6 shots behind the leader, but in tied 10th place. So a good tournament so far for Ryan Fox there, up in at the top end of the board. Unfortunately for Danny Lee, that's not the case, and it looks like Danny is probably going to miss the cut for the Shires Hospitals for Children Open. He is currently out on the course in the second round, 2 under par, 3 under par for the tournament, back in tied 72nd place. The leader there at 12 under par currently. So would require a bit of a charge on the back nine there for Danny Lee to make the cut in that one. Over in the tennis, and Rafa Nadal has gone through to the final at the French Open, beating Schwartzman 6-3, 6-3, 7-6. In the other semi-final, Djokovic is playing Tsitsipas and is currently leading 6-3, 5-2 in that one. So it does look like the first and second seed are going to make it through to the final at the French Open. I'm now going to hand you over to Stephen, who's going to take us through our traffic update, weather update, and also perhaps some NRL news. Actually, wrong way around. Birthdays first. Birthdays. What am I talking about?
Yeah, and any other update that I've got, Paul, welcome to the world of fibre down there in Waihi, mate. You're coming through loud and clear this morning. And coming through loud and clear this morning is a great-looking day here in Auckland. Should be a high of 17 degrees. Like I said, a little bit dark skies at the moment, but probably not a great deal of chance of rain in the city of Sales today, and it should be quite easy moving around Auckland this morning, being obviously a early Saturday morning. So welcome to anybody tuning into New Zealand Sport Radio. In birthdays this morning, a dual Rugby World Cup winner, an all-rounder known for his big hitting, and finally New Zealand's most well-known Olympian twins. But we start with Colin Richard Slade. Colin Slade, born this day, the 10th of October 1987 in Christchurch, is a New Zealand rugby union footballer who currently plays in the French top 14 for Pau. He previously represented the Crusaders in Super Rugby and Canterbury in the ITM Cup, primarily as a first five, but he could slot in at either wing or fullback. He was first selected for the All Blacks in 2009. He was a key member of the 2011 Rugby World Cup team. He was also included in the 2015 Rugby World Cup, which makes him one of only 20 players to have won the Rugby World Cup on multiple occasions. Excuse me, folks. Little bit of a cough there. No, hopefully it's not that. Moving right along, Bernard Lance Cairns, born the 10th of October 1949, is a former all-rounder who played for the New Zealand cricket team and is the father of New Zealand cricketer Chris Cairns. He was known for his unusual bat and also big hitting throughout his career. His bat was quite famous. It was known as Excalibur. The shoulders of the bat were panned down to form a conical rather than a rectangular shape. Cairns was a swing bowler with an unorthodox front-on action. He took 130 Test match wickets and 89 ODI wickets. He took 10 wickets in New Zealand's first ever win on English soil at Headingley in 1983. And finally, today we've got two birthdays to celebrate because they're both twins. Caroline Frances Meyer, or Caroline Eva Swindells, ONZM, born this day, the 10th of October 1978 in Hastings, New Zealand, better known under her maiden name as Caroline Eva Swindell, is a former New Zealand rower. She is 179 metres tall and 80 kg. She competed in the double sculls with her identical twin sister, Georgina Eva Swindells. In November 2005, she and her sister were named Rowing Female Crew of the Year by the International Rowing Federation, FISA, and in 2016 they became New Zealand's first New Zealanders to be the Federation's highest award, the Thomas Keller Medal. The twins narrowly missed the qualification for the 2000 Summer Olympics in Sydney in the crucial Lucerne, where they had to come second. They came third in 2001. She won the silver medal at the World Championships in both the double and quadruple sculls. Together with her sister, she won gold at both the 2000 and 2003 Rowing World Championships in double sculls. She also won again with her sister, that's Caroline, or Georgina. Caroline was coached by Dick Tonks and represented the Hamilton Rowing Club. In the 2005 New Year's Honours, she was made an officer of the New Zealand Order of Merit, and that was with her twin sister as well. So that's Georgina and Caroline Eva Swindells, the twins. In fact, they're the most famous Olympic twins in New Zealand here, and very, very well much loved rowers, and they'll go down definitely in the histories of New Zealand sport. That's our birthdays today. Of course, Lance Cairns and Colin Slade also celebrating birthdays. I'll be back shortly with league news.
Oh dear, Stephen, I'm sorry, but the producer might have to haul you up. You're allowed to do 3 birthdays a day, not 4. And obviously, clearly, you're cheating today with that one. We wish them all a wonderful birthday, and hopefully that's some lovely cake as well. Moving on then to the cycling, and we had another sprint stage where Arnaud Demar of Groupama FDJ took his second stage victory of the Tour. So congratulations to him. Peter Sagan complained that Demar had changed his line during the sprint, but whilst he did move slightly, it was not enough for the commissaires to decide that it had been an illegal sprint. It had been a very nervy day with crosswinds early on, splitting the peloton, meaning it was the fastest road stage ever for the Giro d'Italia, averaging 51.23 kilometers an hour for across the whole stage. Several riders were caught out in those echelons early on and had to chase, or had the teams chase, to get back, but it all came back together, and none of the leading contenders, as far as I can tell, lost any serious time in what was, I say, a very nervous day at the Giro yesterday or overnight. Over in Formula One, and low cloud and fog meant that the medical helicopter couldn't fly, and hence, for safety reasons, there was no practice yesterday at the Nuremberg Ring for the Grand Prix, the Ethel Grand Prix this weekend. It's going to be interesting to see how that impacts the drivers, as those that know the track already will be better off. This was not one of the tracks that was supposed to be in the original calendar. So yeah, some of the newer drivers might struggle this weekend. So we'll see what the impact of that will be. I'm going to hand you back now to Stephen for our NRL update. Once he's unmuted, will be.
Got me. Yes, you have. I'm back in again. The Roosters are dumped out of the NRL playoffs. We check in on tonight's upcoming playoff game, and we also check in on the Betfred League this morning. But the big news of the morning, the Sydney Roosters, the reigning premiers, have been dumped out of the 2020 NRL playoffs by the Raiders, who extracted revenge after last year's NRL final defeat, putting away the Roosters up by 22 points to 18 after leading 16 points to 6. It was a masterclass display from the Raiders, and at top of the list were props Josh Papali and also inside centre Jack Whiten, who starred for the Raiders. The Raiders, who led 16 points to 6 at halftime, scored 4 tries in the first half. In fact, they scored their first 3 tries within the first 17 minutes, with tries to Papali himself, also George Williams, and also Joseph Tapine, also scoring in the first 22 minutes to send the Raiders out to a 16 points to nil lead. Jared Coker sending over a couple of conversions to lengthen the score, and despite the Roosters fighting back in the second half, they scored a try to James Tedesco in the 35th minute. Interestingly enough, James Tedesco also basically on the market at the moment, and he's stretched his price out, which the Roosters aren't too happy about. So not a great night for the Sydney Roosters. The Roosters, Tedesco scoring in the 35th minute to make it 16-6 into the second half. We went, and Jack Whiten pretty much capped off the match with a 68th minute try, despite Joseph Manu scoring in the 57th minute and Tedesco adding a second in the 74th minute to tighten the game up near the end. But a deserved win to Ricky Stewart's Canberra Raiders, coming out on top by 22 points to 18. So they'll progress next weekend to the major semi-final. A little bit up in the air to who they play at the stage. Coming up later today, we have our second preliminary semi-final, where the Eels take on the Rabbitohs from Bankwest Stadium in Sydney. That kicks off at 10-10. And we'll just check in on the Betfred League results from yesterday. Saw Salford too strong for Huddersfield, winning 24 points to 16. Leeds 40, Hull Football Club 40-22. And in live action at this very minute, we've got St Helens leading Wakefield Trinity 20 points to 12, and the Catalans in control against Hull Kingston Rovers, leading by 22 points to 0. Have a quick look at the Betfred Super League table. St Helens and Warrington and Wigan all on 18 points, and leads there with 16 points. That's all our league news this morning. So not quite the fairy tale ending for Sonny Bill Williams, Paul, heading to the Sydney Roosters, and it just seems as though that the huge loss they had a couple of weeks ago, 60-odd to 8 against the South Sydney Rabbitohs, the cracks were definitely showing.
Yeah, I don't think injuries have helped them either in that one. So, but yeah, you say not the fairy tale ending that we were hoping for. That Tony Williams was hoping for there in that one. But hey, he could be back. Who knows next season? But Stephen, yes, you're going to make an exit, right? And will Sonny Williams making exit right from sport, or will he get another contract? We'll have to just wait and see.
Paul, just before I go, just a reminder, I'm going to be at North Harbour today to take in the North Harbour Hawke's Bay game. Should be a cracker, and I'll have some post-match reaction from that game as well. But also, let's not forget the Auckland Club Under-20 competition got underway on Thursday night. I see the Western Rangers took out a victory over the Central combination. I'm not too sure how the other game went, but I'll get some updated results posted for everybody on New Zealand Sport Radio. But looked like a bit of talent running around from what I saw coming in from Waitemata Park. So I might just I'll find out what's happening, Paul, and keep everybody informed. Have a great day, everybody.
Thank you, Stephen. And I will be at the Waikato game this evening. I've just gone blank as to who Waikato are playing. So we'll be getting around the grounds, folks, this weekend. So do like the New Zealand Sports Radio Facebook page to get all that post-match interviews from the games that we've managed to get to. Over in the NBA, and today it's the Heat versus the Lakers at 2 p.m. And the Lakers lead that 3-1, and one more win, and the Lakers will win the NBA championship. So they could seal it all up today at 2 p.m. Moving on then to rugby news, and former All Black Kane Hames is setting his sights on trying to become an international referee. It took a long time for him to admit that his playing days were over due to a bad concussion, and which is always a sad way for a player to bow out. He is still hindered by headaches and fatigue, and that's 3 years after he was knocked out in the Bledisloe Cup test against the Wallabies. And you can understand why he had to call time on his career. He is now making his way through trying to become an international referee, and he made his first class debut at the recently as the assistant referee during the Farah Palmer Cup game between Tasman and Hawke's Bay. Last night we had Manawatu versus Canterbury in the Mitre 10 Cup. Manawatu dominated the first half of play, but just could not put points on the board, which meant that at half time the Canterbury were up 10-0 from memory. Let's bring up the score now. And in the second half, they that's right, 10-0. In the second half, they pulled away to win that game 10-34 there in the Mitre 10 Cup. As you heard Stephen say, he will be at North Harbour versus Hawke's Bay today, and I will be at Waikato versus Counties Manukau, bringing you post-match interviews and reports from those games. Also, it is Bledisloe Cup action this weekend, where there have been a number of new or debutants have been named for both sides, unsurprisingly, this year. This is the first test match for the All Blacks of the year and the first international match since the COVID break as well. So the return of international rugby for the All Blacks. We have 3 potential debutants on the bench. Va'ai, Satutu and Clark are all on the bench. For this one, no debutants in the starting 15. Richard Mwanga in that number 10 jersey, and Geordie Barrett out on the wing probably are 2 of the interesting calls. We also have Ardy Surveyor at the number 8 jersey, with Sam Cane in that number 7 jersey. So those are probably the selections that have been talked about. For the Wallabies, though, they have got 4 debutants: Harry Wilson, Filippo Dungunu, Hunter Pasami, and Noah Loleseo. 3 of them starting on the pitch: Wilson in the number 6 jersey, Dongunu in the 14 jersey, and Pasami in the 13 jersey. So with Loleseo on the bench, potentially coming on for his debutants. So yes, interesting there, 13 and 14. So look at the All Blacks having a go at that channel. They've got the twin playmakers of James O'Connor in the 10 jersey and Matt Samua in the 12 jersey, with the attacking threat of Tom Banks at the back there, with Michael Hooper in the 7 jersey leading the team again. Yes, looking forward to that game on Sunday, so don't miss out on the Bledisloe Cup action. It looks like there might actually be some tickets left. Yesterday, there were still 5,000 tickets left for the game. If it doesn't sell out, it'll be the first time that New Zealand haven't sold out an All Blacks test since 2012. So yes, been a long time since that happened. So yes, we'll see what the crowd figures are. You'd think after it's been so long since, you'd think there'd be a high demand for those tickets. You have now started the day the best way, up to speed with all of the important sports news. Have a cracking weekend, everybody, and don't forget to join us at 7 a.m. tomorrow morning for the morning sports briefing here on New Zealand Sports Radio.